Happy Wednesday evening, Facebook. All my wonderful friends and family and anybody who feels like hopping on tonight. I'm really excited to talk about strength and some misconceptions around strength. And I did not actually plan this to fall on International Women's Day. However, it's quite appropriate. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Alicia Blanier, and I'm coming to you live from Pennsylvania. And I help women feel unstoppable from the inside out. So, if you're hopping on live, please say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from. If you're catching the replay, please say hello as well. Let me know you were here. So, hey Jody, hey Shannon. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. So tonight I want to talk to you about strength. So on Sunday, I talked about, vulnerability and kind of what's good about being vulnerable, the reason it's good to be vulnerable. And if you didn't see that live, please feel free to go back and watch the replay. But I thought to follow that up to kind of keep with the theme, I thought tonight we would talk about strength. And so what does it mean when someone says, oh, you're so strong? What do you think that strength stands for? The definition, it means being able to withstand great force or pressure, like being solid, right? So what does that mean from like an emotional standpoint when somebody says, oh, you're strong, or it's you need to be strong because, I think sometimes, especially as women, we feel like we have to go out of our way to prove how strong we are, right? And I'm not gearing this just to the women, certainly, but I think for us, there are times where we feel like we have to be the strong one, right? And I mean, as we all know, and again, being International Women's Day, there are times, maybe not so much anymore, but there are times where women have been labeled as the weaker sex, right? We're emotional and we do everything with our hearts and not with our heads and all that nonsense. I think it's like a stereotype, right? And I think that there's that, hey Tracy, I think that there's that expectation or that stigma around women that we have to be extra strong because we need to be the rock sometimes, whether it's in our relationship, whether it's, in our family, that we feel the need to not give in to that stereotype, right? We're going to be strong. We're strong women. And we are. But, I don't think that that's necessarily right, is to, feel like we can't break down when we need to, or that we can't let anybody know what's really going on in our lives because we have to appear strong. I don't think that that's true. And so I have 5 misconceptions about being strong. So whether it's yourself or, or what you identify as being strong in others. So what you see as a strength maybe in someone else. So the number one, and these are in no particular order. So the first one I have is that strong people aren't afraid. So, we just get out there and we go after whatever we want and we're not afraid of the outcome. And I don't think that's true, because if we didn't have fear, we would not be human. Fear is the first reaction that we have when there's something new, when either we're starting something new or just something comes up that's outside of our normal comfort zone. Fear is the first thing that comes into our mind that wants to stop us. It wants to stop us from taking that opportunity or going for that promotion or starting that new fitness program or, getting in that new relationship, right? Going on that date or whatever it may be. If we didn't have fear, we wouldn't be human. So to say that strong people aren't afraid, that's not true. The strength part comes in when we can embrace the situations that scare us and not let the fear dictate where we go, right? We have to trust the process that this is. Oh, thank you, Maria. If this is being helpful, if this is resonating with anyone, please let me know. Say hello or give me some likes. Hey, Pam, thanks for watching. So I think that's where the strength comes in. It's not the fact that strong people are never afraid. It's that they take that strength, they take that situation, they trust the process, and they don't let the fear take control. They trust that whatever you're going through, whatever you're facing, is shaping us for the future and for it's molding us for the future. So that's the first one, that strong people aren't afraid, which yes, they definitely are. The second thing I have is that strong people don't ever back down or say no. Now, I mean, how many of you have ever maybe been talked into doing something that you didn't maybe really want to do? Maybe you thought, okay, well, I'm going to do this for so-and-so because it means a lot to them, and, but I don't know that I feel right. It doesn't really feel all that comfortable, but I'm going to do it anyway because, I want to be strong and I don't want to say no. So, I mean, and it could even be, whether you're in an argument with someone. We know that we're being maybe taken advantage of, but we feel like it would be weak to say no, right? We don't want to say no. You don't want to let the other person win. And in reality, it takes a lot more strength to hold your ground, to stand up for yourself, to say no if something isn't resonating with you, or you don't think that something is going to add value to your life. It honestly takes a lot more strength to say no to someone. Strength to sometimes you need the strength to, hey, Shannon, sometimes you need strength to just kind of bite your tongue and walk away, right? Be the bigger person, have that posture about yourself. I'm going to tag Posture Queen in case Raina watches this. But that's where the strong part comes in. It's easy to say, yeah, okay, I'll do that. Yep, sure. It's a strength that says, no, that I would love to do that. I appreciate your offer, but, and I see your side, your point of view, if it's a discussion you're having about something, but, I'm going to stand my ground here and kind of walk away and just do you. The third one, and this is a big one, especially for women, is that strong people don't cry. Ridiculous. And I mean, I've been there, right? So put a 1 in the comments if you have ever felt like you're a woman and in order to be strong, you're not supposed to cry. Because I would definitely put a 1. Something personal that I can relate this to is my gram passed away when I was 12. And I did not cry for quite some time because I felt like I needed to be strong for my mom. And I think that we've all been there at times where we feel like, well, this person needs us. And I mean, even when my mom got sick, I never cried in front of her. Never. And that's one of the things that she wanted. I know now that she really wanted from me is that she wanted me to cry with her, especially when it got towards the end. And I didn't. I was always in front of her. I was always strong because I thought, you know what? One of us has to be the strong one, right? I have to be the strong one. If I break down, then it's only going to upset you even more. And I think we've all been there, and honestly, when I think back, the real strength comes into play from allowing those emotions to flow through us, allowing us to feel human, feel raw, feel upset and cry and get it out. And I mean, sure, it's tempting to hide our feelings. We can try to drink them away. We can try to sleep them away. We can try to medicate. We can do all these different things to try to deny what we're feeling, right? But honestly, all that does is kind of cause more damage to our bodies. We become really stressed out and depressed and everything else. And that's really not an easy place to break free from, speaking from personal experience. So crying or giving ourselves permission to show that emotion, that we aren't afraid to be ourselves, that takes strength. That putting yourself out there, like the vulnerability when I talked about on Sunday, that takes strength to be vulnerable. It is not a weakness. The fourth thing is that strong people don't second guess themselves. So it might seem like strong people, we know exactly what we want. We're going after it. We're not going, without a second thought, we're not going to let anything stand in our way. And, that we don't hesitate or worry that, okay, maybe what we've decided to do might not be the best, might be a mistake. But honestly, I mean, come on, most of us second guess ourselves because there's no right or wrong paths in life. I don't think so. I think that there are just paths. And sure, we might make choices that later on, that seem like a great idea at the time, and then later on are kind of like, don't work out how we had hoped for them to work out. But to be strong is, if something isn't working, a strong person isn't going to just give up and quit. It means, oh, thank you. A strong person doesn't beat themselves up that they took the wrong, that they, I don't say the wrong path, but that they made a decision that didn't work out for them, right? A strong person is just going to hit the reset button, continue on in a different direction, and figure it out. They're going to come up with a plan and go with that. And turn it around and not stay in that negative. So strong people definitely second guess themselves. I have, in my journey, with the companies that that I've been working for, certainly I've second guessed myself. Did I make the right decision? Did I make the wrong decision? Everybody does that, but the strength, you got to if you realize that it's not working out the way you thought it would, you pick yourself up and you go in a different direction. You move on. And then the fifth one is the fact that strong people don't complain when bad things happen or when things fall apart. And that is completely not true. My boyfriend would tell you that is completely not true because if he were here, he would tell you that is not true because I definitely have my times where I have my moments. I think we all have our moments where, something happens and we're just like, all right, that's it. I'm done, and we complain about it and we kind of bitch about it and we get our little bitch session going. And, but we're human. We feel a mix of emotions when something happens, right? We feel sadness, we feel fear, we feel, love, we feel hate, we feel angry, we feel all these mixed emotions because we're human. But at the end of the day, strong people pick themselves up and they figure it out and they move on. that's really, don't ever look at complaining necessarily as a weakness, but just don't stay there. So get it out, curl up in a ball on the floor if you need to. Been there, done that. But, and get it out of your system. But then, take a step back and look at what happened from more of an objective view, and come up with a plan and move forward. I mean, that's really, when it comes to complaining and to strength, that's how strength plays in when something bad happens. And I mean, we've all had things happen in our lives that are unpleasant. Certainly some more than others. Hey, Danielle. But to be strong, don't let anybody ever tell you that crying or anything is a sign of being you, is a sign of weakness, because it's not. It's not. You're human. We're all human, and we all second guess ourselves. We all cry. We all get upset. We all get emotional. Even, men, women, everybody, and the men do it too, and they aren't always as quick to admit it. But some of these guys out there have hearts. My boyfriend is really one of them. And anyone who knows RJ knows that that's very true. But most people, we do let our emotions into our lives, and don't ever let anybody tell you that that's a sign of weakness, because it's not. As I said on Sunday, vulnerability is so important to our everyday lives, and the strength comes in when we actually let ourselves be vulnerable. And I hope that makes sense. Like, it makes sense in my head. But we really, our real strength shows through when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and we put ourselves out there and we're us. So, if anyone found this valuable, if you think anyone else could benefit from this, please share it. And thank you all for watching. Hey, Dawn. So, I'm just wrapping up, Dawn. But you're very strong. You and your mom. I miss your mom. I haven't seen your mom in a while. But be you, as I always say, be you, do you, and don't let anybody ever tell you that you're not a strong person, because you are. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch everybody again on Sunday.